All right, family. A lot of people have been asking me to speak on this topic, and I've really been hesitant on actually talking about this. I really didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, but this has been popping up in the comments a lot lately. A lot of women have been mentioning it to me. So we are going to get into it today. And what is that? Well, we're going to be talking about how do I feel about shacking up and why do men do it? Yeah, we're going to get into it today. What's going on, people? This is your boy Say One's History. You are watching The Male's Perspective. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be updated for all cool new content. We are going to get into it today, you guys. You heard the intro, and we are going to be talking about what do I think and how do I feel about shacking up and why do men do it? Well, this breaks down into a whole bunch of different little files here, and we're going to try to get into as many of them as possible, so stay tuned. It's a wild one. We have some clips for you in regards to this, and I'm going to give you my personal opinion about how I feel about shacking up as a reformed shacker. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Let's get it.
If you don't get married and you move in with somebody, it's like roommate situation. You're learning each other, you're dating, you're figuring out, can I be with this person for the rest of my life? Because I will say, moving in with somebody is a different version of that person. You get to know them a lot more intimately, not just sexually. If you keep everything separate, you move in together for the sake of learning each other or knowing if this is your person. Are there consequences to that?
So the main point I want to bring home, you guys, that they're touching on, but they're not really laying it home for me, is the intent. Okay, the intention part. And that is, to me, the most biggest part when it actually comes to cohabitating or shacking up or whatever the case may be. I personally, now that I've done it, I don't think it was probably the best. And the reason I don't think it was the best is because if you have to ask yourself while you're shacking up with somebody if you think that they're a good person to be married to, then that means to me that you haven't done your due diligence. To me, you should have done your due diligence of figuring out if that person is worthy enough of cohabitating and being in a marriage. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you an example. If you just do the work and you find little things that you may not like about this person, then you cut it. You cut it and then you move on to the next. This is a process of being intentional. Intentional means that you recognize that someone is not for you. You recognize that this is not something that's going to move forward or progress into something because this is not something you'd be willing to deal with. This person is not interested in me. We are not understanding where we both want to go with this relationship here. If you guys have situations like that and they're building up and there's no real path to success, then you should just cut it and move. And there might be hurt feelings from that. There may be people who will be upset with you for cutting it off for whatever reason. But you know what they say. It's better to let them go into the sea and find someone else to keep them hooked to you and lead them on. They're going to be mad at you either way it goes, but you choose why they were mad.
If you're thinking about cohabitating, if you're thinking about being with this person, ask them, do you have plans to be married? Because if they don't,
what are you doing?
Right? You know for a fact you're going to be in a lifetime relationship, a lifetime boyfriend and girlfriend situationship. So just be more intentional about that.
Look, I just said it and he said it again. It's about the intent. The intent to want to be married. If you don't have that intent, then there's no real reason why you should actually be in a relationship. Unless you guys are just kind of having fun. You're having fun, you're chilling, you're doing what grown people do, whatever the case may be. And, you know, she may be getting something out of you. You are getting something out of her. And, you know, you guys can kind of more or less coexist with each other. But as far as when it comes to a serious commitment, no, that's not really what shacking up is. More so, I'm thinking shacking up is like, don't disrespect me in my home. This is more so for a man, you guys, because a man is the one that's usually providing the majority of the things. The man is the one that is, you know, probably a little bit more, you know, established. And so a man is like, hey, you know, this is my home. Hey, this is my stuff. Hey, this is my money I'm investing, or whatever the case may be. Don't disrespect me. He's saying don't cheat on me, don't do nothing, don't do this, but he's really saying in so many words, don't disrespect me. And yeah, it's just not the same thing as a committed marriage. And I'm starting to understand that now.
Can unmarried couples live together? Well, it depends on why they're living together and what they're doing while they're living together. But why would you live together if you're not married, when being married is such a simple process? Now, if you want to have the wedding, if you want to go to the courthouse, if you want to have the legal side of it, that's certainly your prerogative, and there are good reasons in our culture to do that. But you know what I have said many times about biblical marriage. Leave father and mother, cleave to your mate, be one. It's as simple as that. That's what marriage is. And so a lot of people say, well, that's shacking up, that's living in sin. No, that's the biblical definition of marriage. It's found in Genesis chapter 2. And if you read through the Bible, you will find that's when a couple is married, when they're joined together in the one flesh relationship. And that's the way I see it. I can't see it in any other way. So there's no reason to live together if you're not going to be married, unless you're going to, as I would say, behave yourself. And, you know, people say that's unrealistic. Well, it better get realistic if you want to please God. So don't play games with God. Don't play games with his laws. Don't play games with what he said. Just do what he said. And again, marriage is not a committed relationship. Marriage is marriage. And it's when two people decide to make a covenant with each other and with their God that they're going to live together as husband and wife. That's what it is.
So he basically said it without saying it here, but it's basically intent. He was actually saying, you know, well, can two people live together without being married? Yeah, but why would they do that when you can just get married? It's about the intent. What he's actually saying or trying to insinuate is if they were going to live together and they're serious about each other, then why wouldn't they get married? Because if two people are serious about each other and they've already done their due diligence and they've already vetted each other and they've already sat down and spent more time than they needed to get to know someone, why would you not want to get married? It makes a lot of sense. It's like grown men, light flickers on or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but it makes sense. And then statistics actually prove it. It's actually been shown that people who are living together are shacked up, even if they're not married, they'll actually end relationships a lot more. But it's actually statistically proven that people who live together and then get married actually divorce even more too. So I'm not saying that there isn't like nuance to those statistics. I believe there is in everything, but at the same time, statistically, you want to give yourself a better chance in every metric than not. I mean, so it just makes sense, you guys, to try to do everything you can to have a successful marriage, to talk it out, to work things out. And also, women get trippy about this whole submit thing. Submit, but within reason. I mean, come on, people. Like, ladies, we are not telling you to be a doormat. We're not telling ladies to be a doormat. We're telling women, come on, man. Like, there has to be a leader. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. Let's go.
The hill I will die on is that we should live with a partner before marriage. I know there are varying opinions, but I have 3 reasons why. I had a debate about this with a friend, and since I was 11, I told my parents, whoever I think I may marry, I need to live with them before. They were definitely against it, but it was one of the most fun and informative learning experiences I have ever had in my 20s. First off, some studies indicate that couples who live together before marriage might have a clearer understanding of each other's habits and compatibility, potentially leading to stronger relationships. I 100% agree with this. You don't know someone's secret little habits before living with them. Secondly, there have been mixed results on this one, but it can improve communication skills. Now, I have lived with roommates and I've lived alone before living with a partner, so my bias is unique in this scenario, but I definitely agree. I am curious, if you've lived with a partner before marriage or you are interested in doing so before you get married, comment below your questions and thoughts.
Okay, so we've heard this one. I've even said it a few times myself. There's quirks, there's different things that you want to know about your partner before you actually get into a serious relationship with them. So I want to go ahead and live with them before. And I'm a little lenient on this particular video, and I want to tell you why I'm a little lenient and willing to say, okay, I understand your position on this a little bit more. It's because she said, if I want to marry.
What I'm trying to say is, I've loved you since I was 11, and the shit won't go away.
And the reason I'm a little bit more lenient is because she somewhat has intent to actually be with someone. She's thinking about being married. She's thinking about the commitment, the intent to it. And I'm like, okay, I can understand where she's coming from. But if you are committed and you seriously see a future in this person and you want to actually be in a relationship with them, you can do that by going on vacation.
I say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
For a month or something like that. A lot of guys say, oh, I'm not going to take my woman on a vacation and going, that's not where I'm going with this, because you'll hear women say, oh, take me to Dubai, take me to this place. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about those lavish vacations and stuff. I'm just talking about going out, having a nice vacation somewhere, chill for a little bit. It don't have to be super expensive or whatever the case may be. And see how they act. See how they are around each other, or how you guys are around each other. You can understand that because and use it as a proving ground. You know, be as much like yourself as you can be, because again, the key word of the day is intent. If you're intentful and you're actually not just thinking about putting your whammy in the jammy,
yeah, boy,
you know, you are going to be more mindful. But I mean, even this is risky because, you know, I don't really want to get into it, but you got to be adults about the things that you're doing. There's a reason why things were set up the way they were, and we're a little bit more modern, but it all leads back to what they originally had said for man and woman in the first place. And at the end of the day, I think it all starts with intent. You know, what are you guys really trying to do, and what do you want? But let's go.
You need to live with your partner before you marry them. The moment y'all say y'all real serious and you thinking about that, you need to move this person in, or you need to move in with them just to see if they trifling and all these type of things, bro, because you don't know how a person really is until you dealing with them every day. The moment you get off work, that's who you see. The moment you wake up, that's who you see. He be a great man outside of you because y'all only dealing with each other for a few hours. Y'all having a good time, but the moment you start dealing with, he turned to a whole monster. You're not gonna marry that.
Okay, so first off, was it just me, or did he sound like he was gonna tear up a little bit at first? Like, it sounded like he was coming from a very emotional place.
He don't love no more.
Like, he was thinking of something that happened to him in the past. Like, that man was serious. He was hurt. He was inflicted by something. But yeah, man, I mean, I understand. I get what he's saying, that you want to live with the person. But now we're going to shift it over, because first we were talking about intent, and then now we're going to talk about commitment. So when you go and you stand before God, and this is for men take this real serious. I'm not saying that women don't take this serious, but we got to talk about the hypergamy. We got to talk about the woman's ability to say, okay, well, I can just move on if I want to. It is what it is. It's our nature. It's hypergamy. We got to talk about that. So, and it's proven in statistics. Women leave about 70-75%. And when they are college educated or have a degree, they leave about 85% of the time. So it goes up. So it's just this hypergamy thing. We not hating on nobody. We just saying what it is. So women tend to leave more. But women who, and this is why we talk about, we want women who are religious or have some kind of faith. Women who have faith, women who believe in God, they usually have a commitment. They usually have a bond, and they say, I believe in what I say, I believe in what I do, and I'm going to commit to this person under God. And those particular women usually will stay with that person or have the intent to stay with that person because they believe in a higher power. But women that don't have this strong relationship or this commitment with God, that's why everything is under God. If you actually, I feel like I'm preaching here, but if you actually think about it here, even in the military, when they ask you to take the oath, it's always under God. When you go to church, they talk about God. When you go to a courtroom, they have you hold your hand to the Bible. You know, we were a God-fearing country at one point. That's why everything at the center was under God. It was the intent, it was the commitment, it was the oath. So through every form and facet of society, whether it be church, whether it be service in the military, whether it be service to a man and woman, we always do it under God, because there is a commitment that you are vowing that you're going to complete. And at the end of that commitment, it will be well done. Now we're going to talk about why men shack up. And there's a few different reasons. There's a few different answers to this, okay? And I'm going to try to touch on a few of them here, just to kind of give you an understanding of what's going on in a guy's head here. And yes, there are a few on the list. I'm sure you're going to know. You're going to say, okay, yeah, I knew that was on there. But I'm sure there's a few that you're going to look at. You're going to go, oh, I didn't know that was the reason. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first reason, obviously, this is a giver, is sex. Men want sex. Okay, if we can get it and, you giving it, we taking it. Now, there's situations, obviously, our men are just not going to touch certain women for various reasons. It can be they just are not sexually attracted to them. It can be that they believe that women are dangerous. And it could be a situation where, not dangerous like in the physical sense, but dangerous in the financial sense. Dangerous like, I don't want to deal with this particular woman because if I'm sloppy or messy or not on my stuff and doing what I'm supposed to do, I can potentially have a baby with this crazy broad. So that's another reason. So yeah, if you are, as a woman, if you're dangerous to a man, that could actually spell, nah, I don't even want to talk to you or mess with you on that level at all. So that's one reason. Yes, sex is a reason man will shack up, but if they feel that you are a danger, he won't even risk it a lot of times. All right, so number 2 is, and this one is a doozy, y'all. This is going to get me in trouble. Men will shack up for sex, yes, but we particularly shack up with women who have kids. All right, so let me tell you why, okay? The reason why is a lot of women that have kids don't want to have kids anymore, okay? Unless they really, 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 really like you and they want to have kids. But for the majority of the part, they don't have kids, or they don't want to have any more kids. And then on top of that too, those women are, have usually like had kids, of course, and they've either got their tubes tied or something like that, or there's been a situation where they just can't have any kids anymore. And men are like, woohoo, it's going to be a cool day at Fun Town. And, that is what it is, ladies. I'm going to tell you it is. I'm sorry. Man, I gave away the game. I'm sorry, bro. We going to have to get a new trick. But that's one of them. Okay, so ladies, if you want to know why men talk to women who have kids like that and shack up, yes, one of the reasons is because, it's usually that way. But let's get it. Let's go. Okay, so number 3 is a little bit obvious, and it's convenience. It's the ability to come together with someone and actually be able to go 50-50, or at least some kind of split, 60-40, 75-25. You guys have heard me say all the time that if a man is in a relationship, this counts whether you're married, this counts whether you're, shacking up, that it's usually not a 50-50 split as far as financially. Okay, men are usually doing like anywhere from 65-35 to a 75-25 split. That's usually what it is. And I've been hearing people use my stuff on YouTube, and I'm seeing y'all paying attention. Y'all better give me my credit.
So you got my money?
Okay, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. It's usually like a 75-25 split. So with that being said, God, where was I going with this? Where I was going with it is it's usually a mutual thing when a man and a woman get together and they say, yes, we can help each other financially, or I can help you because you have an issue with finances, and then I have an issue with being able to manage things around the home because I just don't have any time. It's not a 50-50 split financially, but it is a 50-50 split if it's like a mutual thing, like a mutual admiration. It's usually a 50-50 split between the two, just in general. So that is number 3 of why people shack up. All right, number 4 of why people shack up. And it's not so well known, this particular one. Number 4, why people shack up is specifically with men is, yes, they do want to get to know the person. They do want to figure out if this is someone that they can actually deal with. They're essentially putting the woman through a learning ground or through a training ground. And they're saying, is this woman like dangerous? Is she going to put me in a financial hardship is she just spending all the money? Is she a woman that is like just using me? Is she a woman that gets emotional and makes rash decisions, at a whim's notice? Is this a woman, that just has a bad mouth, a crazy attitude? She just pop off at the mouth and you go, nah, I can't deal with a woman like that. She's going to put me in a situation. And then vice versa on the women's side, So yes, I understand the position of people actually shacking up for those reasons, but here's the thing. It's not needed, because if you went through the vetting part and you actually had intent, you would know all these things before you even shacked up in the first place. So I get it. I understand why people do it. But again, you usually find something that you don't like in a person. You're not going to like everything in the person. But if you do your vetting in the beginning and you have intent and you're damn serious about, getting all the information that you need from this person, and if you see something that you don't like, you scoot, So yeah, man, it is what it is. That is why people shack up as far as number 4 is concerned. Let's get to the next one. Number 5 is Pookie. Women love Pookie. Pookie is handsome. He has all the swag in the world, and he just makes women's Moana tingle.
Santa made her Little Mermaid Moana.
Oh. he makes the Moana tingle, and women want to be around him as much as possible. So in very rare occasions, women will actually pay for a dude to live with them. Or it's how I've seen it before. Or they will pay full rent or whatever the case may be and have him inside playing video games. And this is never a good thing. I mean, do we really have to, say why this is not even a real relationship? I mean, I guess we do it. We can go into it because it does happen a lot. You guys are using each other. You're using him for his, appearance, whatever he does for you physically, emotionally, and he's using you, for a house, somewhere to lay his head, So this is a very dangerous situation because, you guys really don't know each other. You're living in lust, and then you come to, a potential future where you guys have kids now and you're ultimately tied to each other for life. So this is a dangerous game. I wouldn't recommend anyone to be in that situation. But Okay, so we talked a lot about the different perspectives on why men and women actually shack up. And then I've given you the 5 reasons of why men actually shack up too. You know, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in for more content. We are going to keep it going. I appreciate everybody for watching. I appreciate you for taking your precious time. Thank you for those likes. I really appreciate every single one. It does not go unnoticed, people. So I really appreciate you. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I wish you nothing but success in 2025, and we gonna keep making this show go on. So thank you again, and I will holler at you guys later. Peace. I really appreciate you guys for watching the video all the way through, but if you can do me a little itty bitty favor and hit that subscribe button, it would really help if you hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. So thank you in advance. Appreciate it.